Daines.com/free.
In New York City, the sex trafficking and racketeering trial of Sean Diddy Combs continues. His former assistant, back on the stand today, George Kaplan, was granted immunity by prosecutors. ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer also says an expert witness was called, Dr. Dawn Hughes, who specializes in traumatic relationships.
She's simply creating a framework of why individuals stay in violent relationships, different coping mechanisms, the patterns of disclosure, as well as how memory is affected in traumatic experiences. And it's with that framework that the jury is supposed to then evaluate the testimony of Cassie and other alleged victims.
The music mogul has pleaded not guilty to charges. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in an address to Israelis, says Israel will control all of Gaza by the end of the war. Netanyahu defying international pressure to stop its military push.
Nearly 500 Palestinians have already been killed in the new offensive, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. The UK, France and Canada have already demanded that Israel halt its offensive in the strongest terms yet. Now, Israel 2 days ago said it will allow a basic amount of food into Gaza, and yesterday said 93 trucks were let in, but it's not clear if they have reached people, and aid agencies have previously said it's nowhere near enough, amid warnings that hundreds of thousands are facing starvation.
ABC's Patrick Reevell. Tesla robotaxis coming to Austin, Texas. Elon Musk said the company will roll out about 10 self-driving cars for testing by the end of June. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Quiet down, here she comes. Shh. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
4:05, good afternoon. I'm Will Feel-Right on this beautiful Wednesday as we're enjoying sunny skies outside the KVNU studios. Looks like the next couple of days is just going to get better and better. I'll check your weather forecast coming up following our top stories. Well, a 21-year-old Rexburg, Idaho man arrested for an alleged hit-and-run crash in North Logan has now been found competent to stand trial. Sam Ivan Robbins has been in the Cache County Jail since police had to reportedly deploy a stun gun to take him into custody following the crash that happened back on March 18th. Now, Robbins appeared this week in Logan's 1st District Court for a review hearing after previously being charged with multiple felonies and misdemeanors. Now, defense attorney Shannon Demler explained that Robbins had been evaluated by medical staff who determined that he was capable of understanding the charges against him. Attorneys for both sides are now working on a possible plea agreement. According to an arrest report, North Park police officers were called to the vehicle crash on the night of March 18th near 1600 North Main Street. Now, when they arrived, debris was found in the roadway, but the suspect's vehicle was gone. Police later located a white cargo van in a nearby Walmart gas station parking lot. Officers witnessed a man, later identified as Robbins, exit that van and begin walking away. Now, they instructed him to stop, but he allegedly ignored the orders. Police reported that when they grabbed Robbins' arm, he swung an orange object at them and pulled away. He continued fighting with officers until a taser was used to subdue him. Now, during this week's hearing, Judge Brian Cannell ordered Robbins to appear in court June 2nd. In other news, Utah's Nonprofit Association has announced the launch of the state's first ever Utah Nonprofit Film Festival. Now, it's designed to help local charities better tell their stories and connect with new donors. Altogether, 12 nonprofits will be selected to receive $10,000 each in professional filmmaking services. The resulting short films will debut at the public festival premiere on November 10th at the Leonardo in Salt Lake City. Now, applications are open through June 2nd, and UNA leaders say that the event is not just about filmmaking, but amplifying the work of Utah's nonprofits at a time when funding is uncertain and storytelling is key. And a Salt Lake County man has been arrested after police say he attacked his wife with a sledgehammer, repeatedly hitting her in the head. Officers with the West Jordan Police Department said that 76-year-old Dennis Alma Day called police on Monday to say that he was trying to harm his wife. Now, while he was on the phone with emergency dispatchers, his wife called police to say that her husband had hit her with a sledgehammer and was trying to kill her. Now, she told police that she had escaped. The woman also told officers that her husband had a handgun. Now, when police arrived on the scene, they found Day in the garage with a gun. He was ordered to drop it, but originally started pointing it at responding officers while he hid behind a truck. Now, police said they were eventually able to convince him to give up his phone. They found Day's wife near her neighbor's back gate. She was bleeding from her head and face. Now, she told police that she had been able to grab the hammer from Day and then throw it down the stairs at her house. The woman was taken to the hospital for treatment while Day was taken into custody. He is being held in the Salt Lake County Jail. Well, it's been a gorgeous afternoon as we've enjoyed temperatures in the mid-60s today, and tonight and into tomorrow, it's only going to get better as we'll be down into the mid-40s overnight with clear skies. Tomorrow, more sunny weather expected, temperatures around 77, and looks like it's going to stay that way for us into Friday. Still, we have a small chance of showers possible Friday night into Saturday, but otherwise, the rest of the weekend looking really nice with Sunday temperatures around 76, and by Memorial Day, we'll be back into the low 80s. And news and weather this hour brought to you by Edson Builders, who've teamed up with innovative home finishes. Yeah, if you're building on a budget or building your forever home, give them a call at 232-2680. And I'm Will Feelwright with your KVNU Top Stories. KVNU's For the People show with Jason Williams coming up next.
Today's hearing aid technology can improve not only your life, but the lives of the people who care about you. Once again, you'll be able to hear the reason for their laughter and understand conversations. Dr. Paul Daines at Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology will customize a hearing improvement program to meet your unique requirements, whatever they are. Call Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology for an appointment and let them show you how.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
Reporting the news that matters to you. News Talk KVNU, 610 AM, 102.1 FM, your number one radio station for news and talk.
Tired of that patch of dirt you call a patio? Ready to impress the neighbors and your in-laws? Introducing you, the Weekend Warrior. Thanks to Castelite Tile and Masonry. With easy-to-install outdoor pavers and expert advice, you'll go from, I have no idea what I'm doing, to check out my backyard oasis in no time. They'll teach you how to do it right without the head-scratching or YouTube rabbit holes. Castelite, go where the pros go. And now, where you go too.
Insuring your business can be frustrating. If you are confused about coverages, your rates are increasing, or you can't get a hold of your agent, it's time for a change. This is Matt Robbins with Quality First Insurance. We do return your calls because we work for you. We believe that protecting your business should be affordable and hassle-free. As an independent agency, we have access to multiple carriers like Auto Owners Insurance and will give you options. Call us today, 435-752-0101.
KVNU's For the People with Jason Williams and Bill Walter.
And it is Utah known as the fraud capital of the world. Not because we have more people committing fraud, but because we have so many people falling for it.
Going beneath the headlines and connecting you to the newsmakers.
The radio is a great way to get the word out to a lot of people in an emergency. So we thank you for your help and being a partner with us.
For the People on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM, 102.1 FM, online at 610kvnu.com and on the KVNU mobile app.
Welcome to KVNU's For the People. I'm Jason Williams. It is Wednesday, May 21st, 64 degrees in the afternoon here. I'm enjoying that, to be honest with you, but still seasonal temperatures, so the snow melt is not happening too fast, and that's what we want to see. We've got a full show for everyone today, so I hope you've blocked out the next couple of hours Logan City Council member Mark Anderson will be joining us. He has a big announcement, and I'll let everyone just feel free to speculate in your own heads for the next hour what the announcement might be. He'll be with us at 5 o'clock to kick off the second hour of the show. Here in hour one, though, also Logan City focused, it is time for our monthly Speak to the Mayor segment with Logan City Mayor Holly Daines joining us here in the studio. And we're going to get an update from Mayor Daines and Sam Odd of Logan City also joining us here. And we joked about this, that Sam Odd, Public Works Program Manager, we're going to be talking about orange cone projects. And I said to the mayor, well, that will fill the hour.
Yeah. And could you turn my volume down just
I'm sorry
a little?
about that. Is it blowing your ears out?
It was.
There we go. Is that better?
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm happy to be here today. I'll just be happier if the volume in the headset
it's not screaming in your ear. That's fair.
Right. And just right off the bat, before I forget, there is a Wilson neighborhood meeting tonight at Wilson School, 5:30 p.m. So we'll go after the show talking about the neighborhood plans, some projects in the area. So if anyone lives in the Wilson neighborhood and would like to drop by, they are invited.
These are how many years has Logan City been doing this now, the neighborhood program?
You know, we'd kind of had a program when I was on city council that had kind of died a little bit. And so that was one of my initiatives as mayor to try and just get more input from the neighbors, from neighborhoods, from people. And so we really reinstituted that program, and we've had some great neighborhood chairs and good meetings, and people have really been good about giving us feedback and participating. So
it's such a unique thing that to have regular meetings where you can just show up and talk with your city, and then also, being privy to some information about plans the city has changed or adjusted, because one resident came to a meeting and said, well, this is happening, and it helps to make the plan a little bit better. And I don't know. I hope everyone in Logan City takes advantage of these.
Right. And we typically have quite a few city staff members that come. So if there are questions, you can kind of ask them one-on-one before the meeting. It's just a great way to get personalized information.
That is very cool. This is also for listeners out there, an opportunity for you if you have a question or a comment, 753-5868. Logan City Mayor Holly Daines with us this hour again for Speak to the Mayor, our monthly segment focused on all things Logan City, and Public Works Program Manager Sam Odd with us as well today. We're going to be talking about, you've probably seen a lot of these already, the Orange Cone projects, the construction, and there's no official start time for this, right, Mayor? It's whenever it's possible to start.
Right, when the weather breaks and projects get going. But I think it also helps people. Sometimes it's frustrating because your route may change. It may take you a little longer because of a detour. But we hope by explaining the projects, you say, I get it. That needs to be done. It's a good infrastructure project. So Sam is going to tell us about some of those projects and, again, help you understand maybe what's happening and why.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start off with a quick little fact. As bad as it might seem this summer, we ran some numbers before the afternoon, this afternoon, and last year we, as a city, completed about $25 million worth of capital improvements. Wow. Between water lines, roads, traffic signals. This year we're on track for closer to 12 to 15 million. So we're actually about half of the work we did last summer, but it doesn't mean it's any less impactful.
Sure. And these aren't arbitrary, right? These aren't just, we'll do this year. Correct. I mean, this is all planned out long term.
Yeah, we're looking at least 5 years ahead on all of our projects, trying to coordinate so that we're not closing all our roads all at once. Obviously, things get thrown in our way, and other issues come up that we have to adjust for. But we try to look like we're organized at least.
They are organized.
And with all the variables, too, it's amazing that it looks organized because, we joke about it, but weather really dictates a lot of this. Also, you can start projects and then have weather come in and put everything on hold for a month or two. And then, of course, you have a short season in which to get all of this done. It's honestly surprising there aren't more projects that end up being, planned for a few months and end up being multi-year projects.
True. And some of the projects we've bid out, we actually are giving like a year just for like ordering materials and getting supplies on hand. So once the project starts, there aren't any supply chain issues. It's like, oh, we can't get that part. Or, I mean, for a while it was water meter issues and various pipe, and I don't recall. Has that situation improved a little bit, Sam?
Yeah, we're seeing improvements, but it's absolutely still a concern we face. I'll add to that, we have awesome community partners that we have to coordinate with as well. UDOT has their own set of schedules and priorities that we're working around and with, and they're a great partner, and we work together. But, that's just another layer of complexity that we have on these projects.
Sure. That is some of that at the south end of town, right? You've got a project that is essentially UDOT, but Logan City is greatly impacted by that and has to be involved in, even traffic management and things like that. And yet UDOT can just say, we're doing this. I know in the past there have been complaints from city leaders around Cache Valley that UDOT will sometimes not communicate so well, but my understanding is that's improved greatly, right?
Absolutely, yeah. UDOT is a partner for sure in our community. The mayor, myself, a couple other directors and community leaders have a quarterly standing meeting with.
Right, they drive. They're headquartered in Ogden, but they drive to Logan to meet with us.
That's great.
So yeah, I think UDOT has been a fantastic partner and continues to partner with us on making our transportation network grow, and not just for them, but for us as well.
That is very nice to hear. This is, again, just a general update here on Orange Cone projects throughout the summer with the Speak to the Mayor episode for the month playing out. 753-5868 if you'd like to join us. Logan City Mayor Holly Daines and Public Works Program Manager Sam Odd are guests here in the studio. Stick around. More to come right after this.
News Talk 610 AM, 102.1 FM, KVNU.
A Disney cruise is no ordinary vacation. It's an adventure, a fairy tale, a dream. Step aboard and discover where favorite Disney characters meet fun for the whole family, where total rest and relaxation meet the ultimate escape and excitement, where a dream vacation meets a magical cruise. Only on Disney Cruise Line, where magic meets the sea.
Contact Morris Columbus Travel to book your Disney Cruise Line vacation at morriscolumbus.com.
In our rural communities, EMS volunteers stand ready to help every day. Volunteers are ordinary people performing extraordinary acts. Many of these heroes lack access to essential health insurance for themselves and their families. It's time to give back. Utah has a new program that offers no-cost medical, dental, life, and long-term disability insurance to our rural EMS volunteers. Families may also be eligible for low-cost options. Become a licensed EMT, AEMT, or paramedic, and you and your family may be eligible. Visit utahcounties.org to learn more. That's utahcounties.org.
The Ramsey Show. So there's this $15 billion company that does food orders, and they've hired Amazon execs who've come in and changed it. Well, one of the warehouse managers got disciplined because a package was not packed in 3 minutes. The employee went to the bathroom. The higher-up comes in the next day and sends an email and says, what are we going to do about this? How do we anticipate this? Gee, I don't know. Not leadership, nannyship.
This gives me gas.
Can't go to the bathroom. Oh, hey, you only have 2 minutes.
Dave Ramsey, evenings on KVNU 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Logan City Mayor Holly Daines with us here in the studio for our monthly Speak to the Mayor segment, and this month also joined by Sam Odd, Public Works Program Manager at Logan City, talking Orange Cone projects. You've seen a lot of these, and they shift and move a bit. We were talking during the break. There was a big project along 200 North here that I thought when Mayor Daines several months ago told us this was going to be happening, I thought, that's going to be a traffic nightmare. It wasn't, actually. It flowed pretty smoothly. I mean, a bit of inconvenience and a detour for everyone to go around, but you could still go up Center Street, and it flowed very smoothly. And I was thinking as I watched that project, I would love to sit in the meetings where, at least one time, sit in the meeting where they plan this out and map how's traffic going to be impacted, Where's everyone going to go? Because you can't just close a road and dump them off onto side streets and hope for the best, right? This is all planned out, even down to times of day when you know heavy traffic hits a certain road. It's I think very much underappreciated how much planning goes into
and the
this.
contractors would have loved to have just shut down the
Sure.
whole road. But
Easier
again,
for them,
maybe you
right?
can address that, Sam. But you said, no, you have to keep one lane open and, again, plan the arterial roads to handle it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sometimes it might look like we are doing it a little haphazard, but there is a method to the madness. Even though it is inconvenient, we recognize that, and we're so grateful for our residents and Valley residents that are patient with us during this orange cone season. Jason, the project you were talking about was one I wanted to bring up. The sewer lining, sewer rehabilitation is what we're calling it. We have some pretty old infrastructure here in Logan, and our sewer mains under 200 North between Main Street and 6th West are not in great shape. And so we took this opportunity to rehabilitate them. We pulled, it's called sewer lining or trenchless repair, where we're basically able to pull a new malleable soft pipe through the old pipe, and then you blow it up with air and it cures hard, and you have a new sewer pipe inside your old sewer pipe.
That's amazing, actually.
Yeah. And very, very...
Considering the cost of the old way of doing it.
And it's so much less impactful, right? We can do it so much quicker. The reason we wanted to get that done is UDOT is coming in later this summer and actually repaving and rebuilding 200 North between Main Street and 6th West. So we wanted to make sure that we had good sewer pipe under that road before they put down new asphalt.
Sure.
So unfortunately, the orange cones aren't going to disappear on 200 North right there. But our sewer project is mostly wrapped up. There's still little touch-ups they've got to do on that portion of the road. But the same project, and the crews have now moved to 400 North, and they're working between Main Street and 700 East, doing the exact same thing, pulling in new sewer pipe. There's a couple spots that they have to dig up. The pipe was in such bad condition we couldn't get the new pipe to get pulled through.
Oh, really?
So they've got to dig up a little bit of the road and put in new pipe. But hopefully, right now, our schedule is that by the end of June, the major impacts from that will be wrapped up, and they'll be doing finishing touches through July.
So, Sam, I know that 600 East and 400 North, that's just a very busy intersection going up to the university, headed north or down 4th North. And I know that was closed the other day, so I've just been avoiding it because I don't want a very long detour. It's just one of those locations that the detour is a long one. Do you know if that is still closed and how long it might be closed?
You're correct, Mary. That is a long detour. It was closed for about a week. It's open now.
Okay.
However, just again, the phasing of these projects, they've got to come back in about 2 weeks' time and close it again for 3 or 4 days. So there is still some pending closures on that 6th East intersection.
Good to know.
But they're hopefully short duration.
Great. I can drive that route
Yes,
again,
you can.
at least for now.
That is, we should mention this at least because there's an aspect of this that fits in with larger, just general transportation planning. Even if you're talking about a project, as you were, Sam, about lining these old pipes, these sewer pipes with new pipe, which that alone, we should do a whole show on that one day. It's just amazing. But you also have these situations where you're going to have to close something for some time. There are a lot of, you use the word arterial, there are a lot more of those. And that's impactful in this, right? That you have these alternate routes that, does that make it a little easier when traffic's going to be impacted for a significant amount of time? You can say, okay, but now we have First West. Now we have these routes over here where we can dump all of that traffic on. Because I assume there was a time in Logan City when it was evident that UDOT was going to be closing a section of Main Street for whatever. Everyone went, oh, no.
I know. Our grid system really serves us well wherever we have that. It's a huge benefit to just spreading traffic out.
I've noticed that as the projects, as a person who is mainly on those main arterial roads or Main Street, traffic seems to flow despite a detour, despite even a road closure for some time. But you do try to avoid that, right? Closing a road entirely at all costs, but
absolutely,
it has to happen sometimes.
As much as we can, we want to keep cars moving, keep people moving. There are times where because of worksite size or worker safety that we need to close more than maybe it looks like we should from the side of the road. But we're definitely cognizant of that and trying to impact people as least amount as possible.
That is. I'm curious, have you ever mid-project had to reassess traffic-wise and say, well, that's not working?
Absolutely. Every project. And that's what we try to do is adapt, right?
Sure.
As we do these detours, we see what's working, what's not. This 200 North Sewer is a good example. We had a plan. The first day the plan went into effect, we noticed we were causing more delays than we wanted. And we pivoted with the contractor. The contractor was awesome and worked with us. And we actually ended up bringing in flaggers so that we could get rid of some stop signs and have people keep moving. So that's absolutely something that's on our mind that we're always watching is what are the impacts of our detours and are they reasonable?
That is very cool.
And one way UDOT has been a good partner, for instance, when the intersection at 200 North and 100 West was closed, again, another high-use intersection, it really pushed a lot of traffic to get across Main Street to 100 North, which is typically a much lighter used street. And so that light was really backing way up for people to get across Main. And so I talked to the UDOT traffic engineer that handles the signal timing for Main Street and said, is there any way on a short-term basis you can adjust that a little to get more traffic, east and west across Main Street? And she did that for us. Again, she's like, well, it will impact Main Street a little bit in the flows, but we'll try and tweak it a little bit temporarily. Let us know as soon as the project's wrapped up. And so, again, another example of how they are willing to work with us and partner to try and deal with a specific, traffic detour and make it a little bit better if possible.
Sure. Because one thing to remember with all of this is this will never be done. There will never be a time when USAM or Logan City at large can just say, all right, done with roads for a while, done with infrastructure for a while.
I look forward to the day, but you're right.
It's never going to happen. That is quickly before we go to the news, back to the 200 North project. This is, Mayor, you mentioned this. There's a second phase coming on this one, right?
Yeah. So like I mentioned, UDOT is coming in behind us to repave that road. That will be a lot of night work.
Night. That was
trying to, again, limit the impacts to the traffic. That might mean there's a little bit more noise during the night hours as they're working. But UDOT has worked with us, and we're aware of it.
And this isn't chip and seal, right?
No, this is a full reconstruction of that road. And we've talked with them and talked with the school, and they want to have all the crosswalks up and running and safe for kids as school starts in the fall. So that's their priority, that if this bleeds into late August, the kids will be able to use the crosswalk, especially the one at 4th West. That's a priority intersection for them to get done ahead of school.
Very nice. We do have a question from a listener here, but it is not a Logan City road. The listener wants more information about the closure of the Spillway Road over Hiram Dam. That began. That is...
And that was, I read in the news, didn't I read it was like a 2-year closure?
Yeah.
Again, I know nothing about that one. But
yeah, it might even be longer.
2029.
Yeah.
February 2029, they're going to reopen that road. So
I know I read the press release on that, and reaching out to the Cache County Public Works Department is, I think, who they referred them to for questions for that. So,
and when you read that, you probably thought, I'm so glad that's not us.
Yes.
That's a long closure.
That is.
This is Speak to the Mayor here on For the People with Public Works Program Manager at Logan City, Sam Odd, and Logan City Mayor Holly Daines joining us, both joining us for our Speak to the Mayor segment this month. If you have a comment or a question, 753-5868. Now a look at the news with KVNU's Will Feelright.
Well, thank you, Jason. A new opportunity is coming to high school students across northern Utah. The Cache Center for Advanced Professional Studies, known as CAPS, is launching this fall, offering juniors and seniors from Cache, Logan, Box Elder, and Rich school districts a chance to work on real-world projects with local businesses and industry mentors. Now, the program will be based at Bridgeland Technical College's West Campus and will run during the last 2 periods of the school day. Now, in its first year, CAPS will serve up to 150 students, but by 2027, it's expected to grow to around 450 students. Now, the program is funded in part by House Bill 447, which provides $65 million statewide for career readiness. Students can even earn college credit through concurrent enrollment with Utah State University. Now, students who are interested in CAPS should talk to their high school counselors. Well, a man is dead after an apparent accidental self-inflicted gunshot wound that happened over the weekend in southern Utah. Now, according to the Washington County Sheriff's Office, just before 11 a.m. Sunday, the 911 dispatch center there received a call about a man who appeared to have accidentally shot himself. Now, medical units arrived on the scene. They transported the man to the St. George Regional Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. Now, preliminary findings suggest that he accidentally shot himself in the torso. Detectives from the Washington County Sheriff's Office say they are continuing to investigate. The Sheriff's Office offering their sincere condolences to the family of the deceased. And charges have been filed against two men now in connection with the disappearance of that 15-year-old girl from South Jordan. Officials with the South Jordan Police Department said that both men were in communication with Elisa Petrov just before she left school on April 21st. Now, Elisa was last seen that day on surveillance video exiting a UTA train in Provo before midnight. Now, her family said that she had spoke with people near the train platform about getting to Las Vegas. Now, police said the teen had attempted to meet individuals that she met through multiple social media platforms. The men have been identified as Matthew Menard, a 35-year-old of Florida, and William Glines of Texas. Now, both have been charged with multiple felonies, including aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor. Police said the teen is listed as a runaway juvenile and is still considered to be missing and endangered. Meanwhile, anyone with information about her whereabouts is asked to contact law enforcement. A reward of $20,000 is still being offered. Well, it's been a gorgeous day today as temperatures have been in the mid-60s. We've enjoyed plenty of sunshine, and we're going to get even more of it coming the rest of this week, as tonight we'll see temperatures drop into the mid-40s. Tomorrow, back around 77 for a high. We'll stay that way to finish off the week on Friday. Could see still a small chance of some moisture coming in Friday night and into Saturday, but still a pretty nice weekend. As once those clouds move out of the area, we'll see temperatures Saturday around 69, warming back into the mid-70s by Sunday, and Memorial Day is going to be absolutely gorgeous with temperatures right around 82 degrees. And Quality First Insurance brings you weather as part of the news this hour. If you're a business or HR director struggling with your employee benefit package and you're looking for options, call Matt Robbins with Quality First Insurance. Phone number is 752-0101, or you can also get more information by going online to q1ins.com for Quality First Insurance. And I'm Will Theorite with your KVNU News Headlines.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. After weeks of Republican infighting and last-minute wrangling by President Trump, a possible vote could take place on the GOP's reconciliation bill. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he plans to bring that measure to the floor either tonight or tomorrow.
And we had a good discussion. I think we're in a very good place. I think that all of our colleagues here will really like this final product, and I think we're going to move forward.
Members of the Freedom Caucus were holdouts earlier, and Democrats say they won't support a measure that includes deep spending cuts to key programs to offset tax breaks for the wealthy. Investigators have determined the April fire that severely damaged a historic black church in Memphis, Tennessee was intentionally set. Authorities are still searching for the person of interest. Jury selection scheduled to begin July 30th in the Brian Kohberger murder trial. He's charged in the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students inside their off-campus home in 2022. The trial will be held in Boise. This is ABC News.
Do you have a nasty weed problem? We have the right person for you. Sir, you work for Logan Extermination, don't you? Can you help these folks get rid of pesky dandelions?
Of course I can help. I am the Terminator. I will terminate those little yellow devils in your yard. Call me at Logan Extermination, 752-8450.
Terminate your weeds and green up your lawn for only $45, based on maximum 5,000 square feet.
This is Rochelle Hanks bringing you the Daily Financial Market Report on behalf of financial advisor John Arnold and Edward Jones for Wednesday, May 21st. U.S. equity markets traded lower today as a spike in bond yields weighed on sentiment. A 20-year U.S. Treasury auction was met with weaker demand than expected, adding to the recent move higher in bond yields. The 10-year U.S. Treasury yield climbed roughly 0.1% to just below the 4.6%, while the 30-year Treasury yield rose to 5.08%. In equity markets, the S&P 500 closed lower by roughly 1.6%, while the growth-sensitive Russell 2000 small-cap index declined over 2%. On the policy front, reports have surfaced that the House of Representatives is making progress on the reconciliation bill, and a vote could come as soon as later today. Overseas, markets in Europe were flat, following a higher-than-expected inflation reading from the UK, while markets in Asia were mixed overnight. The U.S. equities closed lower. The Dow closed down 817 points at 41,860. The Nasdaq closed down 270 points at 18,873, and the S&P closed down 96 points at 5,545. And in the bond market, 10-year Treasury yields are trading at 4.59%. In stocks of local interest, Autoliv is down 74 cents to 100.54. Chevron is down $1.71 to $135.56. Home Depot is down $6.21 to $370.84. Kroger is down 60 cents to $68.90. Nucor is down $3.28 to $111.72. Walmart is down $1.37 to $96.43. And Meta Platform is down $1.60 to $635.50. In commodity markets, the price of crude oil was down 52 cents at $61.51, and the spot price of gold was up $38.50 to $3,323.10. This has been today's Financial Market Report, brought to you on behalf of Edward Jones, member SIPC, and financial advisor John Arnold, serving individual investors with personalized attention and financial advice at 135 North Main in Logan. If you would like additional information, please contact any of our 11 Edward Jones offices in Logan, Providence, and Smithfield. Daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
You might ask yourself, when is the best time to start saving for retirement? The answer is simple. It's today. And Edward Jones Financial Advisor is here to help. They will work with you to build a plan for your ideal retirement by identifying your unique goals and help keep you on track to achieve them. The sooner you get started, the better. Call one of our 11 Edward Jones locations in Cache Valley to schedule an appointment today. Making sense of investing. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Here's Chad, the lawn doctor, with a tip for your lawn.
Years ago, we introduced a two-step soil enrichment service to our weed and feed program. Here is what our customers have noticed: improved water retention, reduced compaction, stimulated root growth, and an increase in nutrient and fertilizer uptake, resulting in a greener and healthier lawn this summer. Add this popular two-step soil enrichment service to your lawn care program and get the second service half off.
Fertilizer, weed, and pest control. Call the Lawn Doctor at 753-LAWN or go to LawnDoctorCacheValley.com.
For the People. It's Speak to the Mayor here on KVN News for the People with Logan City Mayor Holly Daines in the studio with us. And this week also joining us, Sam Odd. He is the Public Works Program Manager at Logan City. And we're talking Orange Cone projects, construction, detours, infrastructure, transportation planning, all of these things. And of course, as Logan City grows, the planning and the rearranging that will never be done with the growth. Of course, there's more pressure, and you have areas that may have been. I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. There are areas in Cache Valley I'm old enough to remember being not quite a 2-lane dirt road that we're now talking about as a very important paved bypass for traffic in various areas, and that's the reality that you're all working in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think of 10th West 20 years ago.
Sure.
It wasn't what it is today, but
Middle
how
of nowhere.
we all use that now. So,
Yeah,
that's something we're facing, and obviously we have master plans and these good ideas of what our community can grow, and maybe a plug for the general plan update that's going on right now through our community development project or department. that's where a lot of these master plans come from is through these general plans. So go to our website and find where you can put your input in for the general plan to help us shape and know what our transportation needs need to be in the future, what our zoning, all those aspects of the community we love are shaped by that general plan.
Right. That's the vision for 2045, kind of 20 years out.
And that's a bold goal to plan that far out. But that type of planning has always served Logan City well, whether it be infrastructure or transportation or trees even. Yep. But that is, and that's an ongoing, really quick on that note, that's an ongoing work to engage the public in that process as well, right?
Right. Again, we've done lots of outreach. I mean, our community development department did door hangers throughout most of the city. And we did have one meeting that had a really good turnout, and a lot of people heard it that way. We try and do social media. We'll be doing a mailing a postcard later on. We have all sorts of flyers and stickers and things, just really trying to encourage people to engage, because that can be difficult to get people to take the time to give us their feedback and their ideas. But this is pretty important if they want to be involved in the vision for the future.
Sure. An opportunity to plan the next 20 years. Take advantage of that. And Sam, I know you've got a long list of projects over there you'd like to talk about, right?
Well, I was going to say, if we're talking about impacts to traffic, let's talk about maybe the biggest one that's going to happen this summer. And again, going back to partnerships, UDOT and Logan City have partnered to do an underpass, a pedestrian underpass. It's at about 600 South and Main Street, so the north side of the Logan River. And what this is we have an awesome trail network in Logan, stretching all the way from the west on Trapper Park, west of 10th West, east all the way up, to First Dam, Second Dam. But we have a pinch point or a lack of connection at Main Street, and so this project is to put a pedestrian underpass. I think it'll be about a 12 to 14 feet wide trail underneath Main Street. That project has been in the works for at least 5 years now. Back to our comments about trying to coordinate traffic closures. That's part of the reason why it's taken so long, is trying to make sure we time it. But that is finally happening this summer. We're looking at late summer.
Really?
They might start work. They'll probably start impacts to Main Street traffic in August is what we're anticipating right now, which obviously could change. But it will be very impactful. Traffic on Main Street will be reduced to one lane in each direction during the daytime hours.
Okay.
Through most likely the months of August and September, and then at night, traffic on Main Street will be shut off. It will be closed completely, so they can get as much done during the night as possible. So we're looking at 2 to 3 months of some pretty impactful traffic on Main Street on the south end of the valley, or south end of the city at least. I hope the overall reason for the project can shine through of the benefit it'll be. But
because
it will be impactful.
There's not really a safe way across right now for pedestrians, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Not from 3rd South all the way to the Y. You think there's no way to get across Main Street safely, and it's a major road. So.
That is, and we have a lot more housing and hotels and general retail foot traffic I've noticed in the area. Right. So.
No, absolutely. So we're thrilled about the project, and like I say, UDOT has been a fantastic partner on coordinating and also funding for this project. So we are thrilled about this project coming, but it will be impactful. But next summer, look forward to riding your bike all the way from Trapper Park on the west, all the way up to Merlin Olsen Park and campus and First Dam on the east side.
That is, how many miles again? We've talked about this, but
I'm sorry
you know
to throw
what?
I've got
out.
it in here.
We had that conversation a while ago, and I still, when the mayor said it,
Our Parks Department takes care of 41.8 miles of trails in the city. That's the entire city.
And that's in the city. That is so
41.8.
Cool. That is honestly mind-blowing. And again, something that didn't happen by accident. But, obviously that's going to be a huge impact, even only closing it to all traffic at night and to have it go on that long. But this is one of those projects that when it's done, right? And things go back to normal. Nothing about the traffic pattern over the underpass is going to change.
No, we might, with one exception, I guess, to that, Jason, we might limit left turn movements out of 600 South there right at the bridge. That road is so close to the bridge, trying to see as a driver around those sidewalks and around the walls of the bridge there over the Logan River. is really hard. So we haven't quite figured out exactly whether we'll allow right turn out or right turn in, or if it's just going to be shut off completely. But so there will be a little bit of change right there at 600 South, but that will not impact Main Street flow north and south.
I'm actually a big fan. This is my pet project. If I ever get to wave a magic wand, I want no left turns onto Main Street.
I know. I'm
from
hoping
south to north.
I'm hoping this one gets finished before I leave office, because we have been working on it for 5 years.
Yeah.
But again, sometimes things get bumped. There's a chance it could get bumped to next year, but
before completion.
If so, I'll have to see if they'll let me come back for the ribbon cutting.
That's right. I think so. A lot of work has gone into this one. And if I understand correctly, this started out as going to UDOT, not even knowing if this was even a possibility, just saying,
Right.
we've got to do something. What are our options?
Right. That was when Lisa Wilson was the Region 1 director. She had a child attending Utah State, so she was in Logan. And I said, come one day, I'm going to get a golf cart from the golf course and take you on our trails just so we could do it quickly. Showed her how far the trail system went out to Trapper Park and how you came to Main Street, and it was an obstacle. So that's when she said, I have some ideas for you. And she started to work with us and give us some ideas on grants we could apply for through UDOT. And it came to pass. Again, we thought we'd start sooner, but again, you just sometimes have to adjust to setbacks and schedules and price increases and all those things that happen with construction projects.
And I know one question we've gotten on it is, why aren't we doing an overpass? And that was absolutely looked at. The sight lines, the visual impact of that was a lot higher, and truthfully, cost wise, it wasn't much difference. We still needed the same amount of property, so we thought, let's keep our view a little bit nicer and put it under the road if we can.
Sure, that is, and an underpass is ADA friendly, of course, right? Something else to factor.
Yeah,
in
if
there.
you have an overpass, it takes a huge amount of real estate actually to get your ramp up and over.
Yeah.
So
that is, I think this will be a very cool thing when finished. But as you've heard, there some impacts to Main Street traffic that's not going to be convenient for anyone. It's the nature of the beast with this stuff.
Yeah.
We hope people will be patient and look at the long game, the finished product.
Oh, I'm sure we all will be.
and use our other great roads that we've done. First West, that's we intentionally had First West done before we did this project. So use First West, use First East, 6th West, 10th West. We'll find a way around it.
That is, back to that again. The projects that have been completed in Logan City that ease the pressure just on the average day. You think about that, having 10th West, First West, and even the improvements that have been made to 6th West. This is a lot more survivable, this project as it begins in August. So, Logan City Mayor Holly Daines and Logan City Public Works Program Manager Sam Odd here in the studio with us, and we'll be back with more right after this.
For 100 years, we've fueled adventure without limits.
And at Murdoch Chevrolet, the journey's only just begun.
It's time to chase your next adventure, from epic road trips to daily drives.
Right now, receive 0% for 4 years on the new Silverado 1500.
When you walk through our doors, you feel like family.
At Murdoch Chevrolet in Logan and Woods Cross, or online at murdochchev.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Call 888-391-6083 or see dealer for complete details. Offer expires 6/2/2025.
At Inform Your Community, we combine topics that people want more information about with fun events like crafting, movies, and games, which cover information on a range of topics that impact what happens in the United States. Now we're taking our nonpartisan virtual events and launching in-person chapters around the country. Get informed and have fun while you're at it. Let's grow together. Sponsored by Inform Your Community, a nonpartisan nonprofit. Come visit us at informyourcommunity.org.
Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Thursday on This Morning, America's First News. 2 of President Trump's high-profile appointees are feeling some heat from the MAGA faithful. Hear why the spotlight is on the FBI. Also, with yet another outage involving Newark Airport, the Federal Aviation Administration is now cutting flight capacity to reduce congestion. And our ongoing love-hate relationship with self-checkout lines. Thursday on This Morning, America's First News. From 4 to 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM. Your station for news and talk.
Welcome back to KBN News for the People. You've just heard a pretty extensive update on some of the biggest projects happening in Logan City this summer. As long as weather will let them, they will continue on this schedule until the fall. And more information can be found at Logan City's website. There's actually a pretty lengthy list of all the projects and road closures and detour maps and all of that stuff. So if you need that information, loganutah.org. I have linked to it on our Facebook page. And now, Mayor Daines, you mentioned that you'd like to wrap up with some fun facts on parks you brought with us today, or with you today.
That's right. But I will give one last shout out to our Public Works Department. It is Public Works National Public Works Week. So we appreciate all they do to keep our city in good shape. So good for them.
And as you've just heard, it is not easy.
No, it's not. But, okay, I'm going to give you a little quiz to see how well you do. How many acres of park land, grass, do you think our crews mow every week?
I should know this because you've told me before. and I remember being absolutely, it's a jaw-dropping number. That will be my answer.
Maybe I'm repeating myself.
No, this is...
I didn't think we got to this last year, but the Parks Department mows and trims 150 acres of turf weekly, cleans 19 park restrooms daily, although I think we're getting another restroom online. They do that even on weekends. They prepare over 1,300 pavilion rentals, pull numerous park garbage cans out to the curb for garbage pickup weekly and back again. Weekly, yeah. Then, of course, they do the weeding. They adjust and monitor the irrigation in our parks, as well as the Main Street hanging baskets, Center Street planters, Lob Plaza planters, and more. We mentioned earlier they take care of the 41.8 miles of trails. And, you know, during the year, Parks and Rec has 27 full-time year-round staff. But during the summer, and this includes pool lifeguards and all of the parks folks and so on, they employ 244 part-time employees during the summer.
That is amazing.
So that's a lot to keep track of and train and manage, but they do a great job. They do have, Parks and Rec has an after-school program. It's a free kind of summer playground camp. They do it at both Adams Park and Willow Park. They have 2 sites. And both of those programs were full within like an hour of opening registration. They have 90 kids per site, and they currently have waiting lists in the case kids drop out. But Adams has 67 kids on the wait list and 48 for Willow Park.
Wow.
But again, the sports and fitness camp that they used to have at the rec center, they've moved it outdoors to Merlin Olsen Park. They're calling it Sports Camp Central, and there will be sessions. Again, sessions 1 and 2 are already full, but they do have sessions 3 and 4 that are only half full. So if you're interested in that, there's still options. The Logan Aquatic Center will be open Memorial Day weekend. Again, we're there. It seems like it's early this month.
That came quick.
It did, but it will be open the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then it will be closed Tuesday through Friday because school is still in session and most of their lifeguards are still in school.
Sure.
And then the following weekend it opens for the rest of the season. So that's good. But again, we have kids in youth track and field and baseball programs, a little ninja program. There's open play volleyball, softball for adults and youth, tennis lessons, swimming lessons, although they filled up within 45 minutes of the opening of the sign up. But we have so many kids that learn how to swim at the aquatic center. But that's something great they do. The Logan River Golf Course had 80,000 golfers last year. That was over 70,000 the year before, an additional 20,000 who just used the driving range. So that's, again, that's an enterprise fund. And finally, the last few years, that enterprise fund has been doing well, making some money, but then we reinvest that back into capital improvements that are needed for the golf course. And then, of course, with Memorial Day weekend coming up, just a shout out to our cemetery crews. They work really hard. And again, especially given the rainy weather the last week, it's kind of hard. You know, Memorial Day is that big weekend and it's early in the spring, and sometimes you don't have your grass kind of as solid as you want it. But sometimes we get complaints, but please give them a little grace in terms of realizing how hard they do work and some of the challenging conditions they deal with. Again, those sprinkler heads in the cemetery, they're a coupler system, a quick coupler system, and they have to move those every day of the week to a different section. It takes all week to water the whole cemetery. I mean, the cemetery alone is 52 acres of grass weekly.
That's
and then all the
mind-blowing.
trimming around the headstones and everything. And they have 3 full-time and 1 part-time year-round staff just for the burials and maintenance. And then they add 6 part-time employees in the summer to keep up with the mowing and irrigation. But I know they've been working really hard on it for Memorial Day. Hopefully everything looks beautiful. But again, if everything isn't perfect on your family plot, you're welcome to pass that along to them. But they'll keep working on that over the summer. And hopefully you enjoy that time, that Memorial Day time in the cemetery.
Sure. And another thing we all kind of take for granted, when you visit a cemetery, you just kind of expect the grass will be cut, the weeds will be trimmed. But a few of us, I think, take time to reflect, as the conversation we're having on Orange Cone projects as well, how much work and planning and staff goes into all of this.
And we had our first forestry board meeting today. I'm excited because we have representatives from all neighborhoods, but I know one thing we may be looking at. Russ Akina had sent a picture of, a tree in the cemetery that's the root ball is starting to impact some of the headstones and kind of tip them over. And so periodically, again, there's issues you have to deal with trees and roots and all the things there. So they try and take really good care of it, but it's a big assignment in an old cemetery with old infrastructure and older trees and older headstones that can be leaning. It's a big project to manage.
That is. Again, things you forget that happen to just keep everything looking nice, especially on a big holiday weekend like this. This has been an amazing conversation, and I hope both of you have enjoyed it as much as I and I'm guessing our listeners have. And thanks again to our guests for Speak to the Mayor this month. We have Logan City Mayor Holly Daines, and also joining us for this hour has been Sam Ott, Logan City Public Works Manager. Excuse me. I did it perfectly the whole hour. Public Works Program Manager.
It's okay.
Anything works.
Yeah, thanks
Sam.
for having us here. We really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Jason.
Oh, it's